Welcome back, everyone. There are an estimated 2,300 children missing every day in America. That means a child goes missing or is abducted in this country, in the United States, every 40 seconds. Last year, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children worked on nearly 29,000 cases. Today, 90% of those cases are resolved. The U.S. Marshals Service wanted to raise that number to 100. It has a special task force to find missing children before they end up being trafficked into gangs, prostitution, or even worse. The task force just wrapped up its second ever nationwide operation, and NewsNation was there for the ride. NewsNation correspondent Evan Lambert joining Marshals to see them in action. Joining us now, Evan, what an exciting story. Tell us more.
Hannah, the U.S. Marshals are already the best equipped federal law enforcement agency to track down fugitives. For more than the last month, though, they used those skills to find dozens of missing and endangered children.
To blame. It should have been the adults that carried that shame and blame, not children.
40 years ago, Ophelia Flores survived the horrors of human trafficking. She was treated as a criminal and not the child victim she was. Now, the U.S. Marshals are on a mission to prevent other young people from experiencing the damage of sex trafficking, drugs, or a life of crime.
This should be a priority for the country, is that we have, unfortunately, hundreds of thousands of kids that are out there that are missing. Some of them are runaways. Some of them now are going to be victims of trafficking and prostitution. And we owe it. We have an obligation to try to find them.
I've got a picture from a somewhat recent picture from an older case. I'm going to pass it around and take a look at it.
On an early May afternoon, marshals and local law enforcement agencies are preparing to do what they do best, go out and find someone. But it's not a dangerous criminal they're after. It's one of hundreds of thousands of missing children who could soon become victims. They've knocked on hundreds of doors across 7 cities over 10 weeks. And NewsNation got a unique and up-close view of their recovery mission. We're with the U.S. Marshals Service in Raleigh, North Carolina. They're working with other local agencies as well, trying to essentially arrest a 17-year-old who is also considered missing. This is part of Operation We Will Find You, the second year they're doing that. At this home, ultimately, they didn't find the teen they were seeking, but they aren't giving up. It's on to the next. Here they face resistance, taking out a 15-year-old who has run away before with his older brother.
So we just did the workup and found out that they were staying with in the house we just went to. We thought we would find both the brothers there, but it was only one there.
Minutes later, and really just around the corner, marshals returned the boy to his mom. In an exclusive sit-down interview, Director of the U.S. Marshals Service, Ronald Davis, shares with us the goal of the mission. What does success look like to you this time around?
One child recovered is important. We want to recover as many as we can.
During the mission, marshals found 200 children. They removed 123 from dangerous situations and located 77 safely across 7 states.
He's had some behavioral issues. I think he tore his mom's house up.
It's scenes like this on repeat. Marshals going house to house, locating and recovering children who are considered missing and endangered because of their age or circumstances. For now, the ones we saw reunited or safely located have a better chance at safety and success later in life. And the operation led to the safe recovery of a 16-year-old girl from Michigan. She was found in Indiana with a 30-year-old man that marshals say was abusing her and keeping her against her will. That man was arrested. Hannah?
Incredible job by the marshals. Great job on this story and getting this exclusive. Evan Lambert, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.